Hey guys, it's Sajid Dan again here, back again with another new video for you guys, and today I'm really excited to share with you guys some of my reactions and thoughts of all the stuff that kind of stood out to me personally from this year's E3. Now, it's been quite a while since I've covered E3 on my channel, and that's mainly due to the fact that in recent years E3 hasn't really interested me too much. That's not to say that there weren't really great games being announced. It was just a lot of typical like blockbuster stuff, a lot of great games still, but where my interest lies didn't really stir me too much. That's more of Tokyo Game Show, which I get excited for. But this year's E3 was an incredible exception. There was some phenomenal, huge surprises, and just really incredible year for E3, and just a great time to be a gamer. There's no winning or losing. It's realistically, E3 is just a gigantic commercial for us, but no one wins or loses except for our wallets. Our wallets completely lose because there are so many great games to look forward to. So let's jump into it. Okay, and one of the first big announcements was the announcement of Earthbound Beginnings, which was kind of really awkwardly announced right before the Nintendo World Championships, which they did. So Earthbound Beginnings is essentially a virtual console port of Mother 1. Finally, after all this time, Mother 1 has officially been translated. It's in English. You can get it right now. It's already available on the Nintendo Virtual Console. And this is pretty huge because this is kind of like a sign that maybe we are going to get Mother 3 after all. It's just going to take a little bit more time, but it's looking pretty good that we might get Mother 3 translated as well. And who knows, maybe a collection down the road of all the Mother games on the Virtual Console or something. That would be really incredible, but that's really huge. I wasn't really expecting that, so that's really awesome for Earthbound fans. I definitely want to check it out. Just keep in mind though, especially with that Mother 1, it's a very old school RPG, so definitely keep that in mind. It's also referred to as Earthbound Zero. It's been fan translated many times. There's a lot of reproduction cards you can get, but this is really cool to kind of have it officially done, and basically Nintendo officially acknowledging that Earthbound does exist and all that, so that was really cool. And this next announcement was absolutely huge. This is a game that has been in development for several years now. It was originally debuted at E3 years and years ago now. It was intended to release on the PS3 originally and suffered so many setbacks. It's ridiculous for multiple reasons. And it was just one of those things, the game wasn't even on my radar because it's become like its own running gag in this kind of meme that we kind of joke about it being shown. And well, lo and behold, it actually happened. It was finally shown after all these years. Sony debuted their press conference with the debut of The Last Guardian finally after all these years with actual gameplay. This is the follow-up from Team Eco. This is a phenomenal looking puzzle adventure kind of game where you play as this boy who's kind of accompanied by this bird dog-like griffin creature who looks really cute, and he kind of sounds like a big doggy. He's whimpering a lot and stuff like that, but it totally reminds me of Eco, the style of it. It looks really incredible. I love puzzle adventure games, and it's going to be a really interesting kind of dynamic there with those using those two characters, and it's probably going to be really emotional, I'm guessing, too, later on. And this next announcement was absolutely huge and caught a lot of people off guard, and I totally wasn't expecting it. It was one of the huge highlights of the Sony press conference, and I love seeing some of the reactions from people on this announcement. I'll link below to some really awesome reaction vids that I really love from people. But man, this was huge. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's a real thing. It was announced, and this is huge, especially coming from last year when we were totally trolled with that Final Fantasy announcement when they were building us up like, oh, it's Final Fantasy VII, the game you've been wanting, and it's the PC port, and it's like, oh wait, it's not what we wanted. But this is totally it, and it looks awesome from what they showed. I'm pretty excited, and I haven't even finished Final Fantasy VII. I started it and kind of got a ways in, and then I just quit for some reason. So I'm really excited to delve into Final Fantasy VII in this kind of remake fashion for the PS4 and PC, and probably the Xbox One too. They haven't said that, but I'm kind of guessing it's going to be on all platforms because they didn't say it was exclusive. But it's supposed to be coming next year, so that's pretty awesome, and that was a gigantic announcement. And this next announcement was absolutely huge. I couldn't believe this either. It's like, how does it get better from The Last Guardian getting announced? Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue III? Are you kidding me? Like, who saw that coming, honestly? It's like, it's one of those things too, like where, you know, we've been hearing about it for so long, and so like you start to not believe it after a while. And if you don't know what Shenmue is, it was a Sega Dreamcast game released in 1999, which definitely went on to become a cult classic game. And I think the reason Shenmue is so important is mainly due to the fact that there was nothing quite like Shenmue at the time. It was a really unique, interesting game that was an action kind of adventure game, but it was so grounded in reality and like everyday life that it was just really unique for the time. And they obviously did Shenmue II, which was released on the Dreamcast as well, but that was only released in Europe. but then their Xbox version came out as well. And then there's an announcement that Shenmue 3 was obviously going to be in development, and then nothing happened for a while and then Sega came out and kind of like canned the development of that, which was really unfortunate. And after all these years, it's just nothing but the fans have been asking for it, wanting for it, and really, this game in particular, I think, is the result of fans wanting this. I definitely think the fans definitely made this happen. But man, I just can't believe it. This is another announcement where I'm so excited for it, mainly due to the fact that I'm so happy for some of my friends who have been wanting this game for a long time, and I know some people in particular who I'm really excited for them to be able to play this game finally. It's going to be out on PC and PS4. And they announced it actually as a Kickstarter at the conference, so they debuted the Kickstarter right then and there, and as a result, it instantly broke Kickstarter. Kickstarter died right away with everyone trying to get in. It already broke its funding goal. Its funding goal was like 2 million. It's like, as of recording this, it's almost at like 3 million, and it's just going to keep going up, and now it's a matter of what kind of stretch goals it's going to hit, and like what are the stretch goals. But it's going to break all kinds of Kickstarter records, but this is absolutely incredible. And the next thing I was really excited about from E3 was actually from the Square Enix press conference, and it's an RPG series that I'm a gigantic fan of, and you probably heard me talk about it recently. But I'm obviously a gigantic fan of Star Ocean. I think Star Ocean is a phenomenal series. There's not enough like sci-fi JRPGs, and I love both of those things. Obviously, I love JRPGs, I love sci-fi settings. And man, I've just been a big fan of Star Ocean for way back now. It's just a really underrated series too that I feel not enough people check out, especially if you're a fan of Tales of. Do yourself a favor. If you've not played any of the Star Ocean games, please play Star Ocean. But man, they showed a new kind of gameplay trailer for Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness. Really awkward subtitle. I don't know what it means, but Square Enix, awkward subtitles are a thing. But man, the gameplay looked phenomenal. It's obviously a PS4 game. It's going to be coming next year. The in-game visuals, it looks so pretty. I love the character designs. And one thing that stood out to me right away, which I don't know if people caught, is it actually has a 6-person battle party, which is just ridiculous, because like even the past Star Oceans was usually 4 characters, and I caught that right away. I was like, whoa, there's like 6 characters in battle. It's like the battles look epic and crazy, and it's going to be ridiculous with 6 party members in the field at once. I'm super excited for Star Ocean. I'm just a gigantic fan of it. I can't wait. And next, I was super excited that we finally got a release date for Xenoblade Chronicles X. Anyone who knows me knows one of my favorite RPGs from last gen is Xenoblade Chronicles. I absolutely loved it. So obviously I'm super excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X, and we have an official release date now. It's going to be coming out in early December this year. Perfect time as far as I'm concerned. There's really not a whole lot coming out in December that I'm personally super excited for, that I've heard. So I'm really excited. It's going to be the perfect time to just dive in. So guys, I'm going to warn you now, if there's no videos in December, it's because I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. But I'm super excited. I've been dying for this game. Every time I see it, it just looks better and better. So cannot wait to finally get my hands on Xenoblade Chronicles X. And this next thing was a unique little announcement at the end of the Square Enix conference, which they actually announced the debut of a new studio that they have. And it's a new RPG developer is never a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. So they announced a studio called Tokyo RPG Factory, and they're a brand new studio. They're just like completely brand new, and they said that they're working on a new RPG franchise for Square Enix, completely new franchise, and it's called Project Setsuna as its kind of code name right now. And they showed some like really early kind of concept artwork, and the game looks anything like the concept artwork. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous. So the concept artwork that they showed looked phenomenal. It's really colorful. And that's really awesome. Anytime you get like a new kind of RPG developer coming into the mix, that's always an awesome thing. I'm super excited about the future of that. Not only the company, but the game as well. I'm super excited to see where Tokyo RPG Factory goes from here. And it's going to be really interesting to follow them. So there you have it, guys. There's some of my reactions, thoughts, excitement from this year's E3. I just had to come on here and cover some of the stuff and talk about it because it was just really phenomenal E3 with some huge announcements and all around just incredible games shown from all these conferences. At the end of the day, we all won because there's so many games for us to look forward to. And man, this was just really incredible E3. It's one of the best E3s in recent years for sure. And it's also great to see the prevalence of Japanese developers again at E3. That's something I felt kind of died off over the years. So it's really great to see the Japanese developers having a nice kind of foundation in E3 again. So I'm super excited. This was a phenomenal E3, and I'm super excited for so many games that I couldn't cover here because there's just so much stuff. Like even some of the blockbuster games really have me interested. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know some of the stuff you're excited for from this year's E3. And as always, thank you for watching.